Hi, it's Deb from Deb's Days. It's Foster Friday, and I'm back with another edition of The Adventures of Wyatt Earp, the kitten born without any back paws, or feet, or a part of one of his legs. We're on to week number 14 of his adventures, and this week we're looking back at where we've come from. Wyatt was definitely little, weighing in at a mere 9 ounces, while the rest of his siblings were closer to a pound. We needed to get some weight on the boy. Mama Kate was still nursing, so we made sure he found a spot at the feeding trough. We also made sure he got plenty of one-on-one time with her. KMR, kitten milk replacer, was also used as a supplement. It's like baby formula, but for kittens. Later on, we added some gruel. While the other kids were eating away off a saucer, we had to start him by eating off of my finger. He eventually transitioned to eating off the saucer, and had the messy face to prove it, and he hit the 1-pound mark. We kept the one-on-one time with Mama as long as they'd both go for it. As he was weaned and started strictly on canned food and dried food, his weight steadily increased. We also had some work to do with Wyatt's litter box habits. When a mama cat is nursing her babies, she takes care of their bathroom business too. She helps them go to the bathroom and cleans up after them. As the babes started on more solid food, Mama pulled back on the bathroom assistance. While the other kittens took to the litter box just fine, Wyatt did not. We tried different litter boxes and different types of litter, but nothing worked. We thought maybe the issue could be his little nubs. They dry and crack and sometimes bleed, so we thought having him step into the litter with these tender little things could be the problem. It was, and after a special little intervention, he started using the litter box. As none of us knew what to expect with Wyatt, we gave him lots of opportunities to show us what he could do. We had him walking on several different surfaces, a countertop covered with a blanket. He was pretty darn successful there, but it wasn't a good long-term option. We tried him on the couch, covered with plenty of thick, soft blankets. The unevenness of the blankets posed a bit of a problem for him in the beginning, but as he grew bigger and stronger, the couch became one of his most favorite places to be. He'd run and run and run, back and forth, just as quick as could be. Carpeted surfaces worked well for him too. While he didn't run as much on the carpet as he did on the blanket-covered couch, he got along just fine. One surface that continued to trouble him from the beginning was the hardwood floor. He was extremely hesitant to use it. Those poor little nubs just weren't happy there. But again, once he had his little special intervention, the hardwood floor was a bit more doable, but still not a preferred surface for the guy. Something he did prefer, and actually enjoyed quite a bit, was wrestling. I'm not sure if the best part for him was that he didn't have to move very far to do it. A game where you stay in just one spot and kick and move around? Yeah, he was all over it. As the weeks went on, he continued to be the pro wrestler of the family. Well, that is, up until the point the rest of the siblings got bigger and stronger than him. While Wyatt can't jump, and he can't climb any surfaces that don't have any grip to them, he sure makes up for it by spending time on those surfaces he can grip. One of his first attempts to climb involved the pop-up playpen. It took him many weeks, but finally he made it. It's amazing that these teeny tiny 4-week-old legs would wind up being the strongest part of his body. He started stretching and strengthening those things early. As the weeks went by, he really worked hard at becoming a mountain climber. It took lots of practice on his part, but the strength and speed and creativity with which he made his way up the cat tree was just astounding. Wyatt can tackle just about anything those claws can get into. As I mentioned, we really didn't know what to expect from Wyatt. If we compare Wyatt to his brother Wild Bill, we can see the difference. If you look at Wild Bill's back leg, you can see he has a hip in here, a knee here, an ankle here, his foot that ends in the paw. But with Wyatt, it's different. On his left leg, he has the hip, the knee, and the leg ends in a non-functional ankle joint. On the right side, Wyatt has the hip and knee, but part of his leg, the foot, and the paw are missing. This is the leg he tucks all the way back into his body when it's touched. Thankfully, we had Desh, who offered to help us with Wyatt. She made him some little prosthesis prototypes for him to try out. We worked with the longer left leg. He had several different versions, different styles, different lengths. He really wasn't sure what to think of them, but he was more than happy to have his siblings try and help him take them off. And the little prosthesis has the bite marks to prove it. We'd been trying to do our best at protecting Wyatt's little nubs. They had formed calluses on him, but sometimes they'd dry out and crack and bleed. While we put vitamin E on the nubs every day to keep them soft, sometimes it just wasn't enough. At one point, the nub on the shorter leg busted completely open and wound up infected. With an open wound like that, things get picked up on the leg. We had to clean it out several times a day. He had oral antibiotics, he had antibiotic ointment on his nubs, and he had little betadine soaks. It was clear the leg was painful because he stopped using it altogether and turned himself into a three-legged cat, pulled the leg all the way back into his body, and hopped around the house. While he healed, Desh and her team continued their work on his new prosthesis. It was a lot of work for Wyatt to try them all out. They even tried some different options for the shorter right leg, but since he pulls it all the way back in his body, it's pretty difficult to get anything onto it. Wrapping it, holding it up against his body, wasn't met with success either. Thankfully, Desh has generously offered to continue to donate her time, energy, effort, and materials to give little Wyatt a chance at an amazing life. A life that is now continuing in a new home. After Wyatt headed off for neutering, he came back here to this foster mama's house for a little bit of recovery time before heading off to his forever home. Yep, my little boy has grown up and moved away. I want to thank everyone for their support, their positive comments, and for pulling for little old Wyatt. If you want to check out those past week's videos, you can find them on my YouTube channel or over at the blog at debsdays.com. Also, if you're interested in helping support the work being done with foster kittens like Wyatt, check out simplycats.org. They're a cageless, no-kill feline adoption center here in Boise. Thanks for joining me for the Adventures of Wyatt.